stars, what is good? Thank you so much for once again stopping back by. I really do hope that you're gonna enjoy today's video so that you can keep coming back for more. I just felt like coming on here and chit-chatting with you guys about a lot of things, reflecting on my 2021, as well as just chatting to you guys about what's there to expect in 2022, because I feel like this year has been quite a year. It's been quite a rough year on my side, emotionally, physically, mentally. Whoa. So we're gonna be like reflecting on the year. I'll be sharing, I think, my golden lessons that I learned this year, most of them through the hard way, as well as just catching up where I've been, where I was gone. I've been gone on YouTube for like over a month or just a month now, and I've missed you guys so much, but also I needed to go. But you'll definitely be finding out why I had to leave. If you're interested in that, please do watch this video till the end. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe. Let's get into the chit chat video. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about that I feel like played me this year, played me real good, is being a freelancer. So for the stars that don't know, I've been wearing this makeup for the whole day, so my lipstick is gone. But anyway, for the stars that have just joined the star family, I am a freelancer, which is both good and has its bad moments. This year was my first year out of varsity, even though I was still studying, but it was my first year as a graduate. It was my first year as a prominent hustler, like a professional hustler, like a professional in my field, if you get what I mean, right? So it was almost like my first year working for what I studied for. Sure. So which automatically qualified me as a freelancer. And when I tell you that being a freelancer taught me such a lesson, people will call you up last minute, and that's the thing. I think every freelancer can relate. If you are a freelancer, definitely you're gonna relate. Drop it down below if you do relate, or it was just me who was just coming across bad luck. Because whoa, sometimes a person's gonna call you on a Friday and be like, yo, I have an event like this, I need an MC, I need an adjudicator, I need a host, I need a speaker, which is often the things that I personally do actually the day before. And I'm talking about like well-established event organizers, people who produce stuff, people who have companies. Like, I'm talking about people that you always know that they're gonna pay you. But for me, the issue this year was when. Well, it's not like when you're a freelancer you don't have bills to pay. It's not like when you're a freelancer life gives you more compassion, deadlines are more friendly, because I no shame, you're not permanently employed. So what would happen is that, hey guys, people are gonna call you up, and when it's time to pay you, not that they end up not paying you, but they pay you 3 months later, they pay you 6 months later, and you're just like, so you sort of, it becomes hard to plan your life, it becomes hard to budget, it just becomes hard to navigate. So that happened to me so many times this year, and for some reason I just wasn't learning. Like, I was trusting, and I just kept trusting, and then when it's time to pay, I'm finding myself in conflict. I'm finding myself having to ask you every single day, and I'm one person, I invoice almost immediately. Like, my invoices are never delayed. Now a person is like, it's just a lot of work, if I can put it like that. And then when you least expect it, boom, bam, money in, and then all of a sudden the person thinks things are okay now, and then the next time they can call you up again, and it's like, but that's not professional. Like, that's not how it's supposed to be. But honestly, that's hello, good day. That's one of the things that I've had to learn the hard way. Now I don't play. Like, now I don't play. Now I am a freelancer that will ask for 50% prior the gig, and then the other 50% when I'm done working. But even the other 50%, you still need to fight for it. I guess it's the nature of our industry, of our freelance industry, but I think also if you are a freelancer, start taking your own self seriously so that other people can take you seriously. Like, don't go to work without getting paid, regardless of the relationship, which is sometimes complicated because you try and build a relationship because you find out that, for instance, as a Durbanite, as a person who works around Durban most of the time, excuse me, you find that it's the same people who make events. It's the same people it's the same companies that make events that would need your services. So it becomes challenging to always demand money or put money first. You cannot demand because you are entitled to the money that you deserve for your services. But it's always not easy to put money first when you're trying to build a relationship, because you want business to keep coming back to you, or else who's gonna hire you? Like, if you fight with this person, or if you root to this person, or if you address things wrongly with this person, they're not going to hire you the next time. And so what's going to end up happening, you're going to end up not working unless if you create your own work, which is definitely also something I largely encourage as freelancers, because leyo yokulinda imali zethu for an entire year is not it. And funungacho. This is juice, guys, by the way. It is juice. It's cranberry juice. And this year showed me flames. This year sent me to therapy. Like, it was a hard year. It was my first time having to attend therapy. I've always been the person always was counselisha. I've always been like a very accepting person, a person who moves on easily. Like, if something has hurt me, I'm my own doctor and ngizoba sharp. But for the first time, I needed external help. So I don't want to dwell too much on that, because I feel like in my vlogs I've been talking about healing. I had to understand, Uguti, don't put a time frame to your healing. There's no such thing as, oh no, but whatever hurt you a year ago, you should be fine now. There's no such thing. I also had to understand that healing is like, it's an emotional trauma. It's like trauma. Meaning, if it's a trauma, there's certain things that you're going to see here that are going to trigger you and take you back to that place, and it's okay. It's a process that you deal with. It's not something you just recover from instantly. And often we want to heal so quickly, or we don't want to understand when we're getting triggered. It's almost something that will never go away. It will never ever go away. You'll just learn to deal with it and live with it. But it does not mean, Uguti, from time to time, it's gonna be like it happened yesterday. There were times where part of my hurt, or my large hurt, was the death of my grandfather. Before everything else that happened, he passed away in Feb. So already this year for me began on a very low note, and it literally just went even further down. It's December now and I still cry about it. Definitely not as much as I used to, but there are days, if I'm gonna see like an old person, I'm gonna get triggered. If I'm gonna hear, for my grandfather basically sounded like Uzuma. Like, he sounded like Uzuma, has a resemblance of Ubab Zuma. So every time I see him, it's a trigger. It's the same thing with every other emotional trauma that you deal with. It's okay for some things to take you back there. And when that happens, for the longest time, I wasn't okay when that happens. I'd get upset. Why am I still being upset over the same thing over and over again? Not understanding that I'm upset about the same thing, not because I'm not trying to move on from it or I haven't accepted it, but because it's a trigger. I'm seeing something that instantly takes me to that hurt, to that emotion. So yeah, I know this year sent me to therapy. My therapy journey was very rocky. One thing about therapy that I don't think we talk about often is you need to be ready for therapy. Therapy shows you things and reveals things that you didn't even know about yourself. And sometimes it is hard to take it all in at once. And for me, that's exactly what happened. I went to therapy looking for help. Yes, I got the help, but I also got more revelations about myself that I wasn't willing to face. So you need to be at a certain mental state to be able to attend therapy successfully. Yes, therapy breaks you down to build you. Yes, they show you stuff only to make you accept stuff and also make you deal with stuff. But in that process, each process happens at a certain stage, and you need to be ready for each stage. So what had happened with me is, I think like 7 sessions in, I was getting more depressed and sad, and just realizing how much of a hurt person I had become, you know. And for me, I felt like it was setting me back. Every time I'd leave that session, I'd feel like, yo, no, I got played. Like, I got played. I'd leave the session far worse because I wasn't ready for the truth. I wasn't ready for the revelations. I had to discover them at my own time, at my own pace. So I stopped therapy. However, not for good. I feel like I had to digest what I had been I had to digest what had been shown to me before I can move on to being shown that I was emotionally and internally and mentally unprepared to see or to accept or to even do something about them. So that was my therapy story. I do really want to go back though, because I feel like it is a process that works. It's like when you're sick, you go to a doctor, ayokunikezwa as a medication and for you to be okay. It's the same thing with your emotions, it's the same thing with your brain, it's the same thing with just your mentality. It's food for your brain, it's food for your emotion. So I definitely am going to be going back. I feel like I'm at a much stronger place. I'm at a much I'm okay. I'm better than I was. I think I'm better than I was, most definitely. And also this year taught me forgiveness. This year made me understand what forgiveness is and how you can never heal until you've forgiven. However, forgiving does not mean you're not going to get triggered. Forgiving does not mean you have forgotten, but also forgiveness is more than just the person saying I'm sorry, the person changing their actions, or it's more than just you cutting off the person. It's a decision you internally need to make and be at peace with. And sometimes that peace is so hard because it's so hard to find, because regardless of an I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you, yada yada, it doesn't change the hurt. It doesn't change you blaming yourself. You know what, I should have known better. You know what, I should have. It doesn't change anything. Unfortunately, an apology doesn't change anything. So part of healing is you making the decision for yourself, whether you've gotten the apology or not from the person who's hurt you, if it's a person, or from your own self, if you're the reason to blame for your own hurt, which 75% of the time we have a huge contribution in ourselves being hurt, because the flags are always there in every situation. It's just that most of the times our eyes are closed because we want to see what we want to see. We want to believe what we want to believe, not what is really in front of us. So 75% of hurt, you can't put it on anyone else. Even if you've been hurt by another person, 75% it's on you, because you're always present, you're always there, right? So yeah, you really need to get to a point where you want to forgive for yourself, you want to forgive for your own peace. So what had happened with me is I got to a point where I was tired, and I was like, God, I am tired of being sad over situations I can't change. I am internally tired of being unhappy. I started missing myself. I'm a very happy person. Generally, I'm a very bubbly person, very quiet but also very bubbly. So I started missing myself. I started missing feeling light. Like I always felt like there was weight on my shoulders. So I got to a point where I was like, I miss me, and that's why I have chosen to heal. Healing is also a decision you make every single day. Every single day you need to wake up and say, I'm moving on from this, I am happy, I'm moving on from this. Sure, it happened because it was meant to happen, but I'm learning from it. Yes, I'll never forget it, but I'm moving on from it, because wow, I'm not about to be down because of something that wasn't my fault or something that I wasn't part of. Like my life cannot stop just because now there was this trauma that happened. You know, you need to make a decision to be happy. You need to make a decision to miss yourself. One of the main reasons why I was out of YouTube, I decided to just quit YouTube for a bit. The main reason was school. Another reason why I was depressed was because of school. School, guys, is not for everyone, and school is not easy, and school requires full commitment, and school requires all your time in the world, and school siyayimisa impilo yomuntu. literally it was hard. This year was hard. Let me not say this year was hard. There was one module where I was like, I was crying every single night. Every single time when I'd have a consultation with my professor, I'd just sit there like, every time I would sit. Yeah, I'd just be like, what am I supposed to write? It was so challenging. Like, you know, the people that are close to me, the people that witnessed me going from super confident about my studies to like being in the middle, to like being low, to like almost giving up. My partner and my family can tell you how much I went from. It was so hard. Yo, hi Kasha, no, I'm so yes, that was also a very huge pressure. That was a very huge challenge also. But we pushed through, you know. I managed to finish the year. No, what's another thing, you guys? We started post-grad with so many people, and then one by one people were falling out. That on its own is trauma. That on its own is like, yo, it does something to you. I can't put my finger into it and say what it does, but the fact that people were giving up was like, is it that hard that we are giving up? But also I'm feeling that, yeah, no man, wow. Like, and being a person who had always been an A student, you know, the girl that everybody comes to if they don't understand, from that to me myself not understanding, not knowing what to do, was a lot to take in. There were times where I just wanted to be like, you know what, and screw school. Like, I understand why people take gap years, but then again, for me and what I want to do for my life and, you know, my plans, quitting was not the option. So I pulled through, I persevered through, but I'm still going to be studying further. I am definitely still going to be studying further, but I feel like now I'm more prepared of what's to come, because, you know, undergrad and postgrad are two different things. And like, you know, moving from undergrad to postgrad, or at least where I studied, or at least for my qualification, literally feels like you're moving from grade 6 to grade 12 and you've missed all the other grades. It's that hard. Like, undergrad doesn't prepare you for postgrad. So I think the first year in postgrad is the hardest, and I just hope that it gets better. Not easier, but I cope better. You know? You get what I mean? Because I got to a point where I could tell that I can't even complete Vlogtober. That's when I knew that it's not working. When I couldn't reach my Vlogtober goals. Like, I was planning on having 8 episodes, but I was waking up in the morning not in the mood to film, always upset, always thinking about my thesis. It just wasn't working. It wasn't balancing out. And one thing about YouTube is a hobby to us, but it's also, YouTube is our happy space. And I could no longer be happy in my own happy space. And for me, that's when I was like, you know what, I need to take a break. I really need to take a break. But now I'm back. Hopefully I'm back. Hopefully I am back. I think the last update that I have for you guys is that I'm moving out of this place. This place has held so many good and bad memories, so many tears, so many joyful moments, but it has come to an end. I think I'm moving out next week. I'm going home. I'm going home up until next year, up until I move to my new place again, which I haven't found. One thing about me, I don't even know if I'm in Durban or Joburg next year. Yay! And next year is in 3 weeks time. So obviously this has to do with my work. Wuti, is it more this side or next year? So I'm still unsure when it comes to that. Definitely will be keeping you guys updated once I am sure. But for now, I do know that I'm moving out. I'm going home for Christmas, and then I look for a place again next year. Yo guys, another thing this year, I feel like I've not wasted, but I got to understand how not easy renting is. Like, you spend so much money on rent, and if you know, this will probably be a separate video on its own if you're interested in just like, if you'd like to know why I don't think you should rent. Like, I feel like you should avoid rent if you can. Like, you should really avoid rent if you can, and really invest in buying your own property, because rent is a scam, you know. So obviously it's not an easy thing to do, but if you can, by any chance, can manage to buy a property, even if as a start out, it's not the ideal property, it's not the one that you want, it's an investment though. it's way better than renting. It's way better than having to pay for somebody else's property. Yo guys, a month is not long. Like a month is so quick, and when you put all the money that you've spent, and when I put the money that I've spent on rent the entire year, I'm like, wow, damn it, like damn it. So yeah, like my 2 cents, if you can avoid renting, avoid it. And also, there's nothing wrong with staying at home. I'd rather you stay at home until you can afford property than to come out and rent. That on its own is not an easy thing to do. I know the more you grow, the more you want to be independent and move out of home. I definitely know that for sure. But wow, rent is a scam. Future plans for next year, I am still going to be doing YouTube, most definitely. Yeah, I think like I'm still gonna be doing YouTube. I'm still gonna be maintaining the same content, which is lifestyle and acting. However, I really want to push more acting. I felt like I've been slacking, but the main reason for that is that I study acting professionally, right? I study acting. So sometimes me doing acting content or even responding to acting content felt like part of the hard module that I was doing. Like the way it was so hard, I even started resenting my love for facilitating and teaching acting to some of you guys. But I'm back now. I'm definitely back. I have amazing plans when it comes to the acting segment of my channel. So if you are a star here and you enjoy my acting content, you're gonna be blown away. I cannot wait to reveal what I have in store for next year. It's gonna be an amazing year. Like, I'm super excited for my acting content. You guys have been sending me so many emails, so many DMs about acting, wanting my help. Yes, I have not been responding. That's because I wasn't in a good space. I didn't have the time. I just wasn't emotionally present to be looking at my monologues when giving you guys my critiques and us working on the monologues. I wasn't okay, but I is a big. So I'll definitely be doing that. I have tons of DMs and emails to respond to, but my stars, no, I'm back. Drop it down below if also you feel like this year you suffered financially. I feel like I've always been one person who knows how to save. Like, I've always been a person who's very good with money, like exceptionally good with money. And I've always operated on targets. Like, I mean, I would have this month I want to save this much. By the end of 6 months I need to have this much. By the end of the year I need to have this much. And I always know for what am I saving towards. But this year I wasn't meeting my goals. But also I feel like it was a good financial year for me. Like, I was gigging, I was working. It's not even that it was a dry season. I was working. But for some reason, I wasn't able to save as well as I normally do. So I don't know if it was Umoyaga 2021 or what. Drop it down below. And I can't tell you what was I doing that I wasn't doing all the other years. Like, there's nothing new. It's not like I was living a new lifestyle. I adapted a new lifestyle that is more expensive than what I used to have. So I don't know. You know, I feel like my expenses remained relatively the same, maybe increased kancane, but not, the gap in my savings is a bit too much than what I anticipated. So I don't know where I went wrong, so I'm obviously praying about it. God, I don't know, but I can't lack the skill of managing finances. I can lack everything else, but the skill to manage finances is vitally important. Drop it up below if you also, you know, feel like, yeah, no, this year you didn't do well financially. As we speak, I'm already worried about how the hell am I gonna afford 2022, because wow, and funungacho. Anyway, living up life, you guys. If you are suffering from year-end fatigue, it is normal. It is that time of the year where year-end fatigue becomes normal. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to rest. It's okay to sit down and just plan for next year, but literally decide to rest now and not do anything. It's holiday season. Happy holiday, you guys. I will not be doing Vlogmas, but I'll be showing up here and there with vlogs. But it's not Vlogmas. I won't be able to vlog every single day. Hopefully next year we are able to do it. But yeah, thank you guys. Welcome to my new stars. If you've watched till here, I don't understand why you haven't subscribed. I really don't understand how you can watch the video so long and not subscribe. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on my next video. I love you. Bye.